There is a narrative, a very false narrative that I continue to hear as I navigate the domestic violence realm, essentially, is what I'm going through right now. And as many of you know, I have been navigating essentially the playing field of someone who is trying to escape domestic violence now for a few years in actuality, but intensely hardcore the last year and 2 or 3 months. And there is a very unhealthy narrative that I continue to keep hearing to justify the extreme discrimination that is happening within every single sector, be it the criminal justice field, be it the divorce litigation family law field, be it the domestic violence services field. I hear this narrative over and over and over and over, and we need to stop this narrative right now. And it's this argument that things always used to go in the favor of the mother or of the female in the relationship or the woman in the relationship or the AFAB in the relationship in the past. And so now we're trying to even the playing field. Come again? What do you mean? What are you talking about? You mean when women would get full custody, but the man could continue to weaponize the children to control and abuse her? You mean when the woman would get full custody, the mother would get full custody, and the father could withhold finances and essentially force the mother into complete starvation, deprivation. Their children are born into poverty, raised in poverty, and then we somehow blame communities for being fatherless. Are you talking about the fact that AFABs left and managed to get their freedom and got what they wanted when it came to having nothing? Or is it that you're upset that victims of domestic violence abuse got some sort of, I'm not even going to say compensation, because the fact is, whether it's spousal support or child support or whatever, that AFAB person, that partner playing the feminine role, be there an AFAB or a woman or a man in same-sex marriages, they typically sacrifice a lot, whether it is their education, their career, their time, their energy, their mental health. They sacrificed it all. And for you to think that a morsel of financial pennies is even remotely close to what they're owed is insane. Further, when you look at cases historically where the femme came into the relationship with all of the money and all of the assets, and the parasite managed to suck it all out and take it over and pretend like they created, managed, whatever they did, okay? Pretended like they participated and contributed something, which entitled them to, have a portion of it. Why? Why? Especially if she typically still had to be the one, or they typically had to be the one to still sacrifice it all for them. Let's be serious. And I'm going to say it now, my body, my choice. If you force her to have children, you can't expect her to have full custody and not get a lot of your finances. You also can't expect to have her keep custody against her will. You also can't weaponize children against her if she's the number one caregiver. And historically speaking, nowhere in history, look up Cirque du Soleil. Look up what he did. Look up what he did to his ex. And I remember I was quite young at the time, and I remember a friend of ours who was a single mom who said, see, this is why people should get married. However, when you are married, it's a hostage situation. Quite literally. You can see my video about it yesterday. You are at the mercy of what that abuser, which like 95% of the time plus is usually the man in heterosexual relationships or hetero-presenting relationships. It needs to be said out loud that no, we're not balancing a playing field. Social development will use that to justify taking children. Because if the man makes allegations of mental health, oh, then they must be true. Let's ignore, the actual legal and professional documentations from medical professionals and just take the allegations of a father who's weaponizing children to harm the mother. And then you have departments that don't have a method to rectify that mistake, so they go and opt to deeply cover up instead, thinking that it's going to wash away liabilities. And when you fix things later on, you don't fix things because you've already inflicted so much harm on victims of domestic violence. And it's really funny because I'm actively in it. I've met so many women and AFABs navigating the system. I've even met men. I have met non-binary people who are navigating the system as victims of domestic violence. And to be clear, the men I'm referring to are in same-sex relationships. And nowhere are we seeing that fixing things after a huge mistake fixes things. Some damage is irreversible. Some damage is permanent. And people deserve compensation for that. But nowhere in history, not on this stolen land, not on any stolen land run by the colonizers, has there been a situation that advantaged the victims of abuse? There's a term called litigation abuse for a reason. And it's extremely common. It's in 100% of cases. 100%. Albeit the gravitas is different levels, but 100% of cases. Let me be abundantly clear. Fathers and men are not in a system where they were ever disadvantaged. When criminal laws and the standard for conviction is literally founded on protecting male perpetrators, when civil litigation, even though it's supposed to be more probable than not, still really operates on a same level as criminal level, which is beyond a reasonable doubt, which means no doubts, no possible doubts. That is designed to protect capitalism. It is designed to protect misogyny. It is designed to protect the perpetrators of these things. And the perpetrators of these things, who often seek power, are majorly the men in these relationships. This is not anti-man. It is anti-misogyny. And it is calling out the facts. Because the more you have abusers raising children, especially when those children are boys who grow up to be men, the worse the system is going to get. And everything that we are seeing now is quite literally the result of the abusers always getting the damn benefit of the doubt and the upper hand. It's never been to the advantage of the mother or the woman. We are not leveling any playing field. Sit in that discomfort.